Kenji Yoshino is an Asian American civil rights lawyer who is openly gay. And he writes about his work of trying to assimilate both as a man of color and as a gay man into the dominant culture. He has a book that's entitled Covering, and in it he says that members of the gay and lesbian community know very well what it's like to assimilate into the dominant culture, and that they should testify about assimilation. And that's one of the most important contributions that they can make to the civil rights movement. And in his words from his writing, he says, diversity was truncated, either because the institution selected individuals who naturally conformed to the mainstream norms, or because it had pressured them to do so. He also introduces, or said, the word covering, the term covering, which was first identified by a sociologist named Milton Gordon, and it was defined as the demand for Anglo-conformity. Kenji says this, that this kind of covering and conformity is white supremacy under a different guise. Until outsider groups surmount such demands for assimilation, we will not have achieved full citizenship in America. End of comments. Kenji Yoshino reminds us of the term passing that we're all familiar with when someone looks like they are part of the dominant group and assimilates that way. He introduces us to covering, which is when someone is suppressing parts of their identity in order to fit in. And I want to add a third term. We can call it pressing, for the many ways that we either coax or pressure people into conformity. Unitarian Universalist minister Derek Jackson shares his experience of self in the dominant culture institution. He says, I have vivid memories of my first Continental Unitarian Universalist Young Adult Conference. We had divided into racial caucuses. This was the first time that I had ever connected with other Unitarian Universalists, people of color, over the issue of race. Someone asked the question, is there anything that you had to give up in order to become a Unitarian Universalist? I realized that yes, I had given up my cultural, religious experience. I missed the murmurs of amen in the congregation. I missed singing from the depths of my soul. And I missed my religious community's understanding of what it means to be an African-American man. When I shared this with other young adult people of color, they understood, for many had given up similar things. But what struck me the most was that every single young adult in that group had given up something. Every single one. End of his quotation. But Derek also goes on to say that when he spoke with young adults with white identity and asked what they had given up, they couldn't think of answers. So again, I ask the question, will we eliminate racism? Whether or not you and I are willing will be seen in the small day-to-day interactions that we have and in our decision-making processes. I want to close with one final story. My daughter's friend was recommending Unitarian Universalism to her sister who lives on the West Coast. This is a Latin American family. They're Catholic, but had not been associated with the church for a very long time. Their interest is to find a new church home for the 3 children who were asking questions on religious matters. And the mother realized that she needed to think about her own faith journey. My daughter's sister thought for sure that she would be looking for something like Unitarian Universalism, although she didn't know anything about it yet, because she wanted to find a place that was open for her journey rather than a place that was telling her the answers. So I wondered, what would it be like to be discovering Unitarian Universalism for the first time? I don't know. I've been here all my life. And I also wondered, would my guests find a community that embraced their family, and would they find a church that they would trust to shape their children's religious and social experience? It is my hope that they will find a home in Unitarian Universalism.